This Meditainment production is brought to you today by the Samurai Aquatics and Decor Metaventure. Scan that QR code or click that link in the description and dive yourself headfirst into the Samurai Aquatics Discord server to pleasure your peepers on our current and future range of outdoor decor.
The Whine and Cheese show is a Metaverse and NFT discussion and interview series brought to you by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and host BEN68 and Morecheese. Warning: the information and opinions within are solely the views of the individuals involved and contains content not suitable for anyone.
G'day and thanks for listening to or watching the Whine and Cheese in the Metaverses show. I'm BEN68 here with my co-host with the most, Morecheese, for episode 75, recording on Friday the 10th of March for Cheese, which is Saturday the 11th for me.
Today we talked about Upland and had a conversation as to why it is the future of the metaverse. We also looked at a whole bunch of really cool articles that you're not going to want to miss.
Oh yeah, so dial in for The Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades episode of
The worst show ever.
Whine and Cheese. Time for Whine and Cheese. Whine and Cheese. Time for Whine and Cheese. One is a wanker, one's slinging stunts. One's from Australia, one's from the Bronx. Talking about the metaverse and NFTs. Interviewing all the real crypto G's.
Hello, welcome to the Whine and Cheese in the Metaverse show. This is episode 75, and I forgot to tell you a joke.
Good.
I'll get you later.
Yes.
I'll get you later. Whatever, Ben. Whatever,
Yes. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong. Didn't we do a secondary bet about the crypto markets?
Ben.
We
No.
had that first little bet. I thought we had a bet where we bet another 50 UPICs where you said we were off to the rockets. And I was like, ooh, I think we're coming down.
Well, you said that we were going below 20 on Bitcoin.
Yes, I did.
Are we below 20?
Yes, we are.
Are we? I'll give you 50 UPICs for that.
Yes.
Wow.
Let me pull that up here. Yes, we are definitely under 20,000.
God. That's
Yes.
awesome.
19,972 as at, what is it for you? The 10th of March, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
So yes, there's lots of red there.
Wow, that is so cool.
So, and the market cap is, I can't see it because of the Zoom thing. Market cap is below 1 trillion again, so 931 billion. So that's quite a significant pullback. Now, do I think this is the big, massive pullback that I believe may be on the way? Not financial advice. Do your own research. No, I don't think this is. I think this is just a little nibble, a little sign of the blood yet to come.
But this is because of that one thing that we talked about last week.
The Mt. Gox payments, some ungodly amount of Bitcoin is scheduled to hit the markets. Yeah, that's what I thought too, but I did do a bit of clicking around before we got kicked off. And what do you know? Here's a headline here. Why is the crypto market down today? Now, there's two things in here that was not on my radar at all. Take it away.
The crypto market is down today after the fallout from Silvergate Bank's demise. Oh, a U.S. regulator-led lawsuit against KuCoin Exchange and hawkish comments from United States Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell spooked investors. Well, come on, people. Come on.
So Silvergate Bank, does that name mean anything to you?
No, but KuCoin does, and Jerome Powell does. People are so gullible.
Yes, well.
Those coins look so pretty, don't they? You know, when I was young, when I used to get my allowance, I used to smell the money because I love the way the dollars smell.
Oh, you're sniffing people's
cocaine. Do you know that they said that every dollar bill that's not newly issued has traces of cocaine on it? That's how much cocaine was done in the U.S.
Yes, you Yankees do like your powdery substances, apparently. But yes, no, that's quite a decent pullback on the old Bitcoin.
Money smells
So-
delicious, man.
Oh, that's
How can
it's
you
not
not
like a
love the
new
smell
book
of
smell.
money?
You're literally smelling the
You're
scum of the
smelling
city.
power and
Ugh.
ability.
I think you're smelling bacteria and viruses.
Oh gosh, Ben. I was 7. I got $1.
Yes.
You
Now,
always right on my little
crushing
childhood
dreams.
dream.
Crushing dreams since 1976. BEN68. That's my motto. Yes. So this is the candlestick chart, the 7-day for the Bitcoin. Yeah, she's a couple of big, massive red candles, and that's kind
Yeah,
of
but
what I was expecting. But
that looks like it's gonna come right back, fill in the gap. Wait. Let me finish. Fill in the gap and create a cup and handle.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, you're the trader, not financial advice. I'm just the knucklehead that fucking does
People,
knucklehead
the
stuff.
smart investors are gonna be like, whoa, bye. Not financial advice.
So you're thinking chop and then some more green. Let's
Oh
go to
my,
the
it's
3.
gonna go back up to 22 and then quite possibly 25.
Oh, this chart makes me look nervous. What do we got there? Big candle. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I think that red is...
All right, what is it? March? Let's say by May, it'll
Yeah.
be by 22 at least.
Yeah.
And 50K. And I'll send to you for 50K today. And I have to buy that property from you.
What date did you say?
May.
May
1st.
All right.
Yeah.
May 1st. May 1st. What was your bet? Over
at least 22.
May 1st, at least 22. I reckon we'll hit. I reckon we'll go down below 17. I'll make it worthwhile.
I hope you're right. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I hope you're right.
I reckon. Yeah, I think we'll easy. I think we'll easy get a red candle at some stage between now and then. We'll get a crash down below 17. Maybe I'll go double or nothing. Maybe even down to 16.
Wow. If they go down to 16, I'll buy another one.
What, another Bitcoin? Jesus, how loaded are you?
Don't give attention to it, man.
Jesus, I'm over here daily dollar cost averaging crumbs, and you're just like, I'll just buy another one.
But I told you when I got into it back in the day. I'm a holder. I'm a holder, Ben.
Very cool.
I should have sold some, but I mean that's my mistake. But
yes, well. Now, there's a lot going on there in the crypto space. Like I said, I ceased all of my daily dollar cost averaging. I do have a tiny amount there. I'm waiting for a pullback, and then I may. The interest rates in Australia have just gone. I think we're like 8 or 9 consecutive interest rate hikes. So our mortgage repayments have gone through the roof. Every time the interest rate goes up, I increase our mortgage payments. So we're paying, I think we're paying about $100 a week over the minimum. So every time it goes up, I keep increasing the rate, but I've also ceased all of my daily dollar cost averaging, and now that free money, I would suppose, is filtering back into the mortgage. But it's starting to get to the point where it's like, oh, we got to be careful here.
Do they have like a refinancing for a better? Why don't you try that?
We got an incredibly good deal through a broker. We were very lucky to get into the property market when we did. It's a possibility, but I don't know.
Try. You never know, and it doesn't. All it does is take. Well, over here, it would put 6 weeks of a slight drop in your credit score, and then it goes right back up.
Yeah, it's a completely different system here, but yeah, no. Well, we're just staying ahead of it. Like, we're certainly not feeling the pinch, but we have started to cut back on, like non-essential sort of things.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know what it is. You have to live like a poor person in order to remain rich. Like, yeah. like, I don't know. I'm very frugal. I'm extremely frugal.
Yes, well, we're not rich by any stretch of the imaginations. We're definitely a kind of a week to week budget sort of system, but yeah, with the, it's just about balancing what we have, and I'm a bit weird where I pay, like, we have water rates, you got your land rates, electricity bill, all the utilities. I pay those every week. So we got our electricity bill yesterday, and it's $450 in credit. You know, I'd rather pay a little bit every single week and stay ahead, because I don't want no nasty bills out of the blue all of a sudden. So it's just about balancing those rates. So as the mortgage payments, as that pressure kicks in, well, I'll cut back on those weekly utility bills to help cover the difference and that sort of stuff. So, it's just about balance.
Yeah, I hear
So,
you.
yes. All right. Shall we move on to some Upland? What's the general, anything much happening at the moment? We've got, I believe there's another tour going on. You banked your sends. You did the old Uplando bank the sends trick.
I did. And I asked around in the cafe last night to see who did the tour. Quite a few people did the tour. They thought it was interesting. C Prado did the tour, which was great because that, she's from there, and she was a little disappointed they didn't do Libertad. I said it right this week, thank God. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I didn't say nothing.
But I think it was cool. Like, as we open up more places around the world, people will be able to do that kind of tour. I like, if they do a tour in the Bronx, I'm all in on that. I will spend the 5K to get there.
But what would it take for them? What would they need to change for you to say, okay, well, I'm definitely doing this one? Because as it stands at the moment, I couldn't give a toss about these tours. It just doesn't interest me in the slightest.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, for this one, I think I was just lazy. I usually like to experience them a bit, but like, I don't know what they were giving out. I guess they would have to give out something really nice, like not Spark, because I don't think Spark should be given out. I think they should give out something really beautiful that represents the area they're doing a tour in.
Do you remember the good old days, Cheese? Do you remember the good old days where you'd do a little tour, you'd go around the map, and at the end of it, you'd get a block explorer?
Yes, and they were exclusive to those who did the tour.
How much does that cost Upland to put a block explorer together to give out? Yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the butt on the back end to sort it out, but surely after, what are we, 3 years into this game, surely there's some automated systems that they can employ. And that helps prop up the block explorer market and gets community involved. I would much rather a block explorer than the reward is 0.01 Spark. That's
now, all right, don't get me wrong. If you're from Sao Paulo and your block explorer just happens to be there, and you're a new player, right? And this is the best way, aside from the login rewards, to get Spark.
Yeah.
This is great. This has its place, but you have to think about people like us. Like, we're not going to do it. Yeah, we're not going to do it for 0.01 Spark. We're going to do it for a block explorer, like an exclusive block explorer. So while this does have its place, give us OGs a cookie. Give us chunky porpoises a cookie.
Yeah, and even if it wasn't, one block explorer for everyone, it could be, go in the draw for maybe a smaller run limited set of block explorers, instead of however hundreds of mints, maybe it's just 100 mints, and then it's the luck of the draw system. That might get me. You could get a block explorer, that would definitely get me to do it, but I'm not going to leave my home of San Francisco and go over to somewhere for,
and that's an expensive plane ride. That's really expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's ways that they can jazz that up a bit. So that was one thing. We have another landmark auction Did you? We talked about this. Well, I certainly put it in the UDU server. I mentioned like I could not give a toss about landmarks. It just
I
seems like
want
a bit of
one.
a flex, or
I want a flex.
the only reason I would get one is if it was in a at least an exclusive or a rare collection or something like that. But if it is in like one of those collections, it's going to get gobbled up at the highest maximum price, and I'm not dropping. What is it, 20 million or something crazy. So in saying that, the most expensive property I ever bought was a 10 point something million UPEX property in the rare Dumbo collection in what is it,
Wow.
Brooklyn. So that was
Yeah.
that was a bit of an impulse buy. That one, me and another ex UDU member were going backwards and forwards about the Dumbo collection, because I was lucky enough when that city opened, I went straight to Dumbo and I minted 3, but they were 3 small ones. And then, Brooklyn was just a classic. That was the ultimate burn, that whole fiasco. So, but then on the back end of that, there was massive Dumbo rare property sat there for months and months. And I kept looking at them. And I was like, righto. I was just about to get in the shower one day and I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. So
Like, screw this.
I carved off a chunk of crypto and gobbled it up and then got back in the shower. So it's definitely, it's not something that I've ever regretted, because, that one collection alone, as well as my San Francisco financial district collection, that pretty much props up the entirety of my UPEX dividends. So yeah, so it was a chunk of change. But would I drop that much now? No, I'm definitely not putting in more crypto into this. Cash, I don't have 10 grand burning a hole in my pocket. So if I could continue to slay the FOMO dragon, I might be able to stack that amount.
Yeah.
And then
like if you can get it, if you can get it like that, people have offered me a landmark or two for a really good price, but I had to buy my factory land and this and that, but I'm definitely gonna try to save and whatnot. I like the amount of dividends they give too. Those are really nice.
Yeah, that's the biggest attraction. If it's just some random thing that I have no connection to, no, I got no interest. So we'll have to wait and see. And I don't know what else is happening. Let me just check here. So we had the landmark auction. Oh, and the MetaVenture directory and raid. That was cool.
Yes,
the MetaVenture directory.
Cool. Yes, I love that.
I don't know. Do you have Upland open? Can you bring that up and share it?
Sure.
I only do it on my mobile. So that's something that was sorely needed, because we did say we've been giving a lot of feedback that the spread of the orange dots over the Upland Metaverse is becoming a bit out of control. Like, you can't tell what the hell's what. So you can't tell from a distance whether it's a Block Explorer shop, a legit shop, an outdoor decor, anything like that. So yeah,
my Upland is like loading. Is yours?
Oh, I'm on mobile, so I don't know. Yes. It's very, very sorely needed and a great addition.
I think what it is my I haven't shut my computer down in a bit, and this happens to me a lot.
You got 50,000 tabs open again. No, it's working for me.
All right, yeah, it's my freaking computer.
One interesting thing that came up is last night I went ahead and filled up the listings in our showroom again. Now, for a small showroom, the max is supposed to be 250, right? But there's I think I worked out what that last sale that we did, we know that once I went over 250 items listed, it created an error message and it glitched out the whole system for, it was almost an hour.
Wow.
Because there's a lag. When I list items, there's a lag, pending, because it has to clear the blockchain. It takes 3 minutes. So I can have, say I've got 245 items already listed, right? So there's room there to list another 5. But within the UI, because it takes 3 minutes for the blockchain to catch up, I could actually list another 15 items in those 3 minutes. But then they start clearing the blockchain, and then it goes, hey, wait a minute, this is over the 250 limit, and then it wigs out because currently we've got 251 items for sale. And last night when I checked it, it actually said 258. So I think that's remind me, I've got to follow up with the team. I think that's the problem with that glitch that kicked in.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah.
Oh, wait, I got it.
Yeah, the 250 limit is a soft limit. You can actually go over it until the blockchain realizes that you've gone over, and then it spazzes out. It goes glitchy glitch.
Let's see. All right. Oh my God. All right. Share Upland. There.
Yes, the three little, what do you call it? The magic hot dog?
That's what Goldie calls it. And then right here,
yes,
directory. We go to shops and look at how beautiful it's right there.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like you can filter by shop type. The little filter button on the top right there, you can click on that and filter by shop type, and then you can click straight on that, and it goes.
Wow! Look at this beautiful image. I wonder who created that. I know. Yeah. You get some really inexpensive undermint gnomes if you still need.
Oh, I actually have a buyer that's going to gobble all of those up. So if you want one, you better be quick.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, one of the feedback points we did send through to Upland was, please give us the ability to, or make it auto magical that it lists these items per item type, not when we put them up for sale, because at the moment it's a bit all over the place. And I didn't tell you, Jen did get back to me this morning about that and said it is something that they are actively working on. So that's good news. Thank you, Jen and the team.
Yes. I love Upland. Look at these trees. They're so cute. These trees broke me. They broke me.
Yes, so don't forget, so at the moment we have a campaign going where if you buy 5 trees, you get a free Halloween sign. Now, we will get those out to people. We'll have to get those out before I go to Japan. So within the next week and a bit, we'll start that process anyway. So that's cool. All right. Anything in particular you wanted to touch on about Upland? I believe we've got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I would like to do a little thing called a conversation as to why Upland is the future of the metaverse.
Sounds very official.
I like that. You sound like Rachel Ray.
Can the worst show ever go official? We're about to find out.
We're about to find out. Why not? Let's try something.
Right. So run that by me again. What was it?
So why Upland? Why do you think Upland is the future of the metaverse?
Okay, cool. All right. So that's our starting off point, is it? All right. So how are we even going to possibly begin this conversation?
There's so many ways. There's so many ways. It's hard to begin it. God, like we could start out with, we're not attached to a token. We're not, our value is not based on whether or not Bitcoin takes a dive. And we talked about Bitcoin
at the start of the show. Yeah. Well, we are the Whine and Cheese show. This show started because we cover both sides of things. We're not all roses and puppy dogs and ice cream. So yeah, originally I was one of the people way back when that was kind of pushing like this needs to be on an exchange. And as we've seen with recent history, it is definitely a case of thank God nobody listened to me because
exactly. Because like you don't really know what you want in such a new space, and what you do want may not be good for the future of the space. So like if you don't get what you want, don't cry about it. Just go to something else.
Now, one of the opportunities of the Upland Metaverse is that you can begin and get engaged for free. You can start this process for free. Cheese, can you buy property in Decentraland and the Sandbox Exchange for free?
No, you cannot.
Could you buy a chunk of the Facebook Meta platform for free?
Not to my knowledge.
not as not as somebody who wants to build stuff in there or own property or anything like that. No, those are just kind of extensions of a social media platform that's already there. Now, the main ones that we can compare ourselves to, if I can call ourselves, meaning us and Upland sort of thing, is Sandbox and Decentral, and they're the big ones. Now, entry points for those are in the thousands, tens of thousands in some cases. So entry point into Upland is free. You can sign up if you're lucky enough that you've seen it before you sign up. You would have jumped on somebody's referral code. You know, we've got our referral codes in the links in the description. Most of the other content creators have, you know, referral codes. You can get yourself, what is that? I think that's a bonus. Gosh, I think it might be, you might start off with 6,000 UPICs. Maybe it's 4. I don't remember, but it's a decent chunk anyway. And if you wait for a city release, and with the Fair Start Act, the FSA system, you can very easily get yourself maybe 4 to 5 properties, depending on how you work the collections. You know, those early collections, the King of the Street, the City Pro. If you're savvy enough to be able to work those out, you should be able to get yourself 4 or 5 properties for free. Zero money spent.
Yeah. And then that leads us into another great
Are we jumping
thing.
straight away? We're jumping. I'd like to hang on the tokenomics a bit.
Tokenomics.
Longer,
all right.
If that's all right.
All right. So I'll give my point at the end.
Okay. So yeah, you can get involved for free. That's you can't do that in the other metaverses as like a property owner. It's not even an option as far as I'm aware. I'm happy to be corrected if I'm wrong. Right. So you can buy, sell, trade. You can upgrade that account. You can get all of these different bonuses if you're engaged and you're savvy and you get engaged with the community. There's lots of options available there. You can get to the point where you can sell out for USD. So there is a prospect, and you look like you're frozen. No, you're just concentrating. There is a prospect where you could get involved for free, and then you could sell. If you just wanted to, you could cash out for US dollars, and you might make $50, $100 for.
But this is different than tokenomics.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm leading there. So you could do that, and there's a lot of FUD in the community now where, you know, the property values are down. You know, we've seen the prices in Chicago very recently were at the $3 USD floor. Well, what would the value of those property be if we were tied to a token on an exchange and we're in a bear market? You'd be talking about those properties are now worth fractions of a cent. Whereas because we're not tied to any crypto tokens, you know, it is stable. The only instability we kind of have is that play between the UPEX price and what the USD price sells for. That's kind of our tokenomics. Yeah, I know you're all about tokenomics. So what's your take on that whole angle?
I'm glad we're not on a token, especially because of what we talked about with Bitcoin. Yep.
All right. Now, before I interrupted you.
Yeah, you did. Speaking of the FSA community. So community, we have the best community. And this leads from the tokenomics point where your point of getting in for free. If you do your research and you do everything great and you get into the Discord, you get into the cafe, you will see that people there really want to help. And you will see that people really do reach out to new players to purchase their FSA properties. So you will always be able to sell that. If you get into a standard collection and you buy like the 3 you need or 4, whatever, how many, and then you buy 1 extra, someone's going to buy that from you for a decent price. And there you go. You just keep buying and buying, you know, and that takes great community. And with community, you have a good community, you have ease of networking, you get friendships and partnerships. This is where you start building your name, your brand. I'm gonna, because I see people saying, oh, nobody wants to partner with me. Nobody wants to partner with me. Oh, woe is me. Like, you can't be someone who expects an already established partnership to say, hey, come on in. First of all. Second of all, you need to have something to offer, whether it's bookkeeping, you just take the amount sold, put it in a nice spreadsheet and have it ready for the business owner, whether it's artistic thing, whether it's marketing, bringing people in. There's so many things that you can offer as a package, and don't expect an already established partnership. Create your own partnership. Look out there, look for your artist, look for your bookkeeper, look for your business person. The community is amazing, so you will not have a hard time.
Yeah, there's a lot of the FUD that I see that kicks around within the Upland community is a lot of people want the juice without the squeeze. They want all of these rewards, but they don't want to put in much of any effort. So, it's a bit of a interesting situation. And I guess that's, should we dive into that whole, a consumer versus a producer angle yet, or do you want to hold off on that? Because
we could get into that, sure. Yeah.
Because this is the Upland. One of the strengths of the Upland Metaverse is that both of those opportunities are available there. Now, if you want to just play Upland as a kind of a monopoly on the blockchain, passive sort of person, you can most definitely do that. Is there a whole heap of stuff to get you and keep you engaged from just a purely consumer angle? Well, there's definitely room to say at present, no, there's not a lot to do there. What are you going to do? Treasure hunts and a few tours and this, that, and the other thing. It's that's a fair point. However, on the flip side, we are famously still in beta. There are so many things still under construction, as far as like Dak just did an interview with Upland about the URL, but then there's a lot of stuff kicking off with that. We've just signed up to be gold sponsors, 2 gold sponsors. We're sponsoring via the Samurai Aquatics and the UDU. And I've also worked through the URL is setting up their 1-year anniversary. We've also put prizes up in the name of Samurai Aquatics and UDU as well. We're more than happy to sponsor all of those sorts of events. So, yeah, there is a lot of stuff in the background that's being worked upon. And it goes back to your point. If you want to be just a pure consumer, maybe there's not a lot for you to do at present, and that's a fair enough play. If you want to,
you could be a consumer and collect and wait for the future, but and that leads to another point: is earning an Upland easy? No, it's not. But if you put the work in, you're gonna earn a lot of money, like Ben and I and D-Tech did. Like, we put in the work. If you see yourself being successful in anything, no one's going to give you anything, right?
Yeah, you got to put the work in.
Exactly. Like that, and that'll lead to a con later on, but you have to put the work in. You have to have an idea or many ideas. Not all of them are going to work. I mean, look at the network. Like, what was Ben's first great idea with the nodes? Like, we still have things to do, but his thing was neighborhood ratings, right? It looks like neighborhood ratings may not go our way. It probably definitely won't go our way, but we evolve and adapt, and we made it something else. You can't cry. You can't cry because things aren't going your way. You evolve. You put the work in. You get the MetaVenture. If you can't get a MetaVenture, set up a spatial for your stuff. Do you have stuff that you sell on the side? Do you have this? Do you have that? Upland is the platform for it.
Yeah, and it does need to come with a healthy dose of patience, and you can't just expect everything to fall in your lap all of a sudden. Like, famously, we waited 2 years from the time that I was approved, for the outdoor decor business. It was almost 2 years before we actually officially opened. Now, we've been open for well, it's the 11th of March here today for me. I think our first outdoor decor sale was the 12th of March. So what's that, 4 months? November? No, our first outdoor decor sale was November. So November, December, January, February, March. So 4 months we've been open. In that 4 months, we have, now you did the math on this the other night, we have sold almost the equivalent of 20 million UPEX in user-generated content. So if I wonder, it'd be interesting to work out on a, because we're in a three-way partnership. That all gets divided three ways. There's fees involved, of course, and we have put just an absolute shitload of hours into this to get to that point.
I was up until 3 a.m. last night working on one tiny little piece that's going to go in an area on the cushion. Go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, for the next set that we're working on. Yeah, absolutely. So, and we've had multiple meetings about that set. So, what are you shaking your head about?
You didn't let me finish.
I didn't say anything. You said go ahead, Ben.
Me. Yeah, because you were talking over me. One little piece on the side of a cushion that you probably won't even be able to see completely. Go ahead, and I'm done now. I have to talk fast, so you're gonna just yeah,
but you just predict that I'm gonna interrupt you before I even do. Yes, so yeah, the possibilities are limitless depending on what effort you want to put in. I know you're a gamer, so that's your kind of background, but you came into this as a kind of classic halfway between a gamer and an investor sort of thing. So
I came in more as an investor. To me, Upland is not a game.
I guess both of our experiences are different. Yeah, well, depends how you want to talk about it. For me, it still very much is. Like, I came into it purely from a gamer perspective, but I have a history of building communities around mobile games. So I don't know. It's one of those things where you put the effort in for what you want to achieve. I still think there is a fair argument that if you're just a pure consumer and you want to play the Upland game, that at present there may not be a lot for you to do.
Well, and then like for me, also events. Upland holds in-person events around the world. This June, we'll be going to Genesis Week in Vegas. There's also another event in San Francisco with the where they're going to give that money thing.
The GDC, the Game Developers Conference.
Yeah.
Now, and that's
they might do NFT NYC again. Go ahead.
Yeah, the GDC, that's one of the things that I used to FOMO about when I was doing game development back in the day. That's a really awesome conference. It's absolutely massive. All of the indie gamers and some of the AAA games, it's a massive thing over there. So that's very cool if you can get involved. Yes. Anything else? Why else is Upland the future of the metaverse?
Nope. I could think of a con to bring up.
Okay.
All right. So one con of Upland, in my opinion, this is my opinion, so don't get butthurt. If you're lazy and you think people are just going to give you money for nothing, Upland is not for you. Upland is a place for patience, hard work, and make a name for yourself. Whether it be, Ben and I went and did a show for over a year, maybe, over a year before Upland even noticed us. We could have got mad at it. We could have been fudders, but we didn't. We stuck with it. We had a vision. We knew what we wanted to do. And eventually, we started paving our way through it all. And the Metavengers finally came through. Could that have fallen as well? Sure. We would have just adapted and seen what else we could have done. But you can't just expect things to be given to you. You can't expect a game that's in beta to completely follow everything they put out exactly. Things change, they change because they have to, because the future, the founders has a different idea of what they see, right? So I know that Upland does listen because they do watch the general chat, they do watch the cafe chat, and they see, they will make changes. You don't have to flood on them in public, on Twitter. That's just hurting your investment. And investment is just a word that I like to use personally. I know they meant it in a different way. That was another butthurt story, but I'll digress.
Yeah, I guess it depends what your underlying motivations are. Like, yeah, we started shows way back when, but our motivation wasn't to make money to get, to get out there. Our motivation was to just expand on what we're doing and to have fun. The Upland community, although it is by far the largest and most active metaverse community that's out there, I think we're 67,000 unique active wallets for the week or something like that. That's miles above any other metaverse, unless you want to say that Roblox isn't officially a metaverse or something like that, because then that would smoke Upland. But yeah, it's very active, engaged for the community. And I forget the point that I was going to make, but what was I talking about?
Roblox.
Yeah,
well,
so
I think Roblox has its place. Upland has its place. Roblox has its place.
Yeah. So it's that's what I was going to say. So like, you can't come into this and say, okay, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and put out all of this content, and I'm going to that's going to be my job. The community is way too small for that. And if you don't have the patience to write it out, and your motivations are to have fun and put content out there, if your motivations are financial, you're gonna fail, because you're screwed from the get-go. So it may get to that point somewhere in the future if you continue, as you said, to continue to put the work in, to put the grind in. But I felt like you were channeling Sarah Connor vibes there. You're almost saying the future is not yet written, Cheese.
The Sierra Connor. Come with me if you want to live. Come with me if you want to succeed in Upland.
Yes.
I'm gonna give Upland Daily a shout out, even though I don't completely like the FUD, the little bit of FUD. They could do that a little better. I feel like they are evolving. Like, I talked to Cafe in there, and I talked to a lot of people in there, and they do seem to be getting a little more excited. You see superstars like Elijah in there, you see Impasta in there, the agency. It's really cool. And remember when I was like, we need more articles, we need more people writing stories, we need this, they bought it. They took it to that level. Like if you don't know what to do, people will tell you what to do. People will say, look, we have shows, we just need something that people can read, something really fast that can kind of give you a nice conclusion of the day. Go in that direction. There's so many ways to do it. You don't have to do it like them. You could write a Medium article. You could become article like professional and whatnot, and article famous. I can't wait till this person's article comes out, and this and that. You could talk to people, get their take on it, talk to Upland. Like, people will be more available to talk to if they know it's going into an article, rather than they have to spend time going on a show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think well, I was going to say FUD is important, but that's not the correct way to word it. Critical feedback is important, but it's all about the way that you deliver it.
I agree.
Now, I'm going to say that I believe that the number one reason why the Upland Metaverse is the future of the metaverse is because of the accessibility and accountability that we have with the founders and all of the upper management and that sort of thing. Like, what other metaverse platform, the founders of that go on just like random YouTube channels? Like, we haven't reached out to try and interview Dirk and Idan, but I'm sure they'd be open to it. We kind of like to fly under the radar a bit, but we prefer to focus on the peripheral people like Lisette, who's a community manager and stuff like that. Now,
I would be open for X1 to contact us and say, hey, I'd like to come on your show, but that's just me. Go on, Ben. I'm so sorry.
Well, that goes both ways. We can't say that he doesn't want to be on the show because we've never asked him. So that definitely goes both ways. But are any of the other metaverses, are they doing is could we contact Mark Zuckerberg and say, hey, you want to come on the Whine and Cheese show? it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. So, I think there's that accessibility and that public facing thing. There's a lot of accountability at play there too. So you know who these people are. There's literally hundreds of hours of interview footage with these people where you can get a sense of who they are as personalities. Now you might not like them, you might not like the way they do things or what they have to say, but you cannot deny that they are accessible and open to your feedback. So that's my number one reason. Do you have any, to wrap this up, do you have any like number one kind of overreaching bullet point?
I think the ones that we went over were all important equally, but community, I'd have to say, is really important because that's how you do your business. That's how you start anything, is reaching out to people, and like everybody starts somewhere. There's always somebody new. Like look in the new players chat, ask around, hey, does anybody know Blender in here? Like you could start something new with somebody new.
Yep. The possibilities are endless if you're willing to put the time and work in. Yep. Very good. All righty. Shall we move? Should we move on to some spearage?
Sure. I'm excited to see what articles you have today.
Now, I pulled all these up pretty quickly, and I don't remember exactly what I've got going on, so this will be just as exciting for me as it is for you. All right. Oh, here we go. I'll say the headline before I even pull it up here. Top Metaverse real-world use cases to know in 2023. What do you think, just off the top of your head? What do you think might be in here? Metaverse real-world use cases.
I am drawing a blank. I have no idea. Use cases, like things that
there's
you
a
need
lot
to
sort
know.
Of stuff potential.
Top
Things that
Metaverse
you
real
would actually want to use. So kind of moving beyond, again, going back to Upland as like a kind of an entertainment, platform. Real world use cases. So let's find out, shall we? A world that is adopting to Metaverse. Do not miss out on these real world use cases of the technology. Yada, yada, yada. In business. There we go. Chase, take it away.
Businesses from all sectors currently utilize augmented reality to streamline operations. According to
Old mate,
if developed Metaverse would promote a more collaborative atmosphere. Collaborative, yeah, where data will be pervasive and always present. For instance, the envisioned Metaverse should provide operations staff with a far more immersive experience. That would be great, enabling them to employ technology to direct even the most difficult field and service tasks, as well as better cooperate with others. Wait, actually, this is hilarious. Is this where they make the staff as avatars and you can actually talk to them in the metaverse, such as?
Yeah, I believe that's a part of it. And it's always like they talk about augmented
reality. I have
realities.
a second point. Sorry. Because X1 actually put this on his Twitter, saying what is the best way to improve interaction between staff and players. And it's funny that you found this because this is really relevant.
Yeah, and we have talked previously, especially the augmented reality kind of aspect. We talked about if you're wearing a special set of glasses and you're a repair person in a factory, you're going to get pop-up manuals and all that sort of stuff. So it's the potential for business is very, very huge in a whole range of aspects. Think about staff training, or there's lots of HR stuff that can be done in the metaverse, and even real estate. Being able to go in and have a tour around, like a spatial kind of experience to view properties or holiday destinations or tourism, or there's a whole load of facets there. The next one up is in advertising and marketing. Many companies are developing a presence in the well-known VR environments. For instance, the game platform Roblox hosted the launch of Hyundai Motor Company. Yep, we've touched on a whole bunch of that sort of stuff. Gamers' avatars can interact with existing and future Hyundai products. Warner Brothers had a Roblox party. Yada yada yada. Walt Disney. We do know that there's a whole bunch of musicians doing stuff. Yeah. So much so that Snoop Dogg has even started his own Web3 Schiller platform where they will assist you if you are some kind of product that you want to get out there. They will assist you to set all of this up in the back end.
Nice. So they could take a percentage of your product.
Yes.
That's smart.
Excellent.
I like it. Yeah.
For revenue, Cheese.
Many businesses are selling products and services that are only available online. Gucci and the product and entertainment business, Super Plastic.
Sounds horrible.
I've collaborated to produce a small run of collectible NFTs. What the fuck is Super Plastic? Although Nike is developing an NFT that connects to its real world equivalent, Ralph Lauren is offering clothes for avatars. That's cool. It may indicate prospects for the larger business landscape, since well-known fashion labels are now offering digital-only clothes and accessories, following in the footsteps of gaming platforms that have long marketed comparable things as non-NFTs, which is dumb. So this is actually great. Not only is the labels going to make money, but so are you, because you're going to actually own this item and be able to resell it or keep it and collect it and whatnot. So I think this is great for everybody involved.
Yes, it's kind of wearable skins, isn't it? And it goes both ways. Using the Gucci example just because it's in this article, you could buy some kind of Gucci shirt or whatever that you can use in your online avatar, but it goes both ways. If you own some kind of, or if you buy a Gucci product, we've talked about this before, where you may be able to scan an NFT. There might be a QR code there where you're going to award yourself an NFT, or you might be able to do something in some kind of metaverse that then qualifies you to get a real world product. So you're kind of both ways. Think of like blending NFTs. Like we have, we talked about this in last week's show, the McLaren Formula One team during the race period, you can go onto their website and get yourself a free NFT related to each race. If you collect all of those, and they're going to scan the blockchain, and they're going to use that to take a snapshot of who has the full collection, then you'll go in the running for some actual in real life prizes, which are pretty massive. So it definitely goes both ways.
Before you move on, I just Googled Super Plastic and it's fucking awesome.
Do you want to pull it up?
Holy shit. All right, yeah, I'll pull it up. It is all right, so it is like exclusive toys.
Well, that looks creepy.
Yeah, and
Kid
like
Super Plastic.
Super Plastic. Look
Whoa.
at this. The superhero no one asked for. Hey, look at that. So cool. Big Dick's Hardware.
What?
Look at that. I love it. Wow.
So these are actual physical items that you can buy.
Yeah. Look at that. I want it. I want this. It's only $95. Cool. And then Googie, like Gucci, the Googie Man.
That looks like the Upland NFT for the horror tour we did.
Really?
Not the NFT, the Block Explorer. Yeah.
Oh my God, look at that.
Whoa. Yes, make sure if you're listening on the Spotify, make sure you click the link in the description and check this out, because this is some next level stuff.
I want this. Someone out there, buy this for me, please.
There you go. Nice.
Buy one for Bensu, but just me first. Me first.
Yes. Bye. Consume. Yes. In
Obey.
entertainment, younger customers who are projected to drive metaverse expansions, which is Cheese is always saying she wants some of that children's Roblox cash, are showing a lot of interest in entertainment in the metaverse. The 2021 concert tour by pop diva Ariana Grande in the Fortnite game environment and related occasions offer a glimpse of the new immersive entertainment experiences that a metaverse will bring. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Ariana Grande and Fortnite. That's amazing.
Yes, and like I said, that's yes, it is a bit clunky at the moment. It is a bit janky. There's not many people there when you go to these things. It is a bit here and there, and you might poke your nose at it and have a bit of a laugh. But think about the first phone you had, the first mobile phone you had. It was a bloody brick that you could do very little on. So fast forward 10 years, and where are we at? So, and I think this might be the last one. Yeah, the last one in customer experience, Cheese.
As extended reality platforms make it possible for enterprises to offer new experiences and present information in novel ways, metaverse platforms have the potential to alter how, when, and where businesses connect with their customers. Businesses might also provide potential customers with other shopping options. For instance, Old Mate suggested that automakers give test drives in a setting that simulates its extended reality. Wow.
Now, people might laugh at that last comment and say, what are you going to do, a virtual tour of your car? That's not going to be enough. But Formula One teams, those drivers and their their reserve drivers, they spend hundreds of hours in sims that are super tied to the actual setup of the car. There's actually, when race weekends are underway, there's many of the big teams have somebody in the sim testing out things before they actually do it on the track, like live. So the technology is advancing at an extremely rapid speed. So
people are going to miss these times where they had like moments to breathe between thinking of ideas and going, like finding your next adventure. You're not going to be able to take a breath once this gets going.
And that goes back to that conversation we just had about Upland. Like, you might say there's nothing to do now. Well, if you have any inkling or intention to move from a passive consumer to some kind of producer, make hay while the sun shines, as they say. Get to work. This one is a bit of an extension on this, so I don't know how deeply we'll dive on that one. So I don't know how deeply we'll dive in it. We'll probably just touch on it briefly. Business in the metaverse, the future of commerce. Wondering how the metaverse will impact the future of business. Want to know why the metaverse will enhance business opportunities. In this article, you discover business applications for the metaverse. So this is kind of an extension. Hopefully, like, we've kind of given our perspective. This is somebody else's. Michael Stelzner's. This will be his biased opinion. So, yeah, what is the metaverse? Basically, the way I think of the metaverse is an extension of the current internet that we already have. The current mobile devices we have, it's Web3. It's the extension of that, the next evolutionary phase. So, yeah, this is an important point here, if you want to take that one.
Whether people realize it or not, many of us engage with the metaverse every day. We attend meetings via video in real time, use FaceTime, watch live streams, take part in Twitter spaces, play games together from separate locations, and so on.
Yeah. So that is the seeds of what the metaverse is. It's just, filling it full of steroids and taking it to the next level is.
In my mind, the metaverse will be, you put on your VR or your glasses, you sit back in your comfortable couch and you go into a virtual supermarket and put stuff into your cart and then go to the, either cash out yourself if you want to have that kind of thing, or just have it delivered via Fresh Direct, which is basically the same thing.
Absolutely. So this guy says, first in the reasons is the collapse of siloed user experiences. In the past, user experiences with communication, media, commerce, gaming, and finance were separated. Today, we can experience all of this on a single website within an immersive application environment. Yeah, absolutely. I remember
separated.
Yes, well, I remember when I first started buying, I was buying books and research materials when I was doing one of my postgraduate degrees, and my mum was like, "Why are you putting your credit card details onto the internet? That's so dangerous."
Yeah, back then you had to be careful.
And now everything's online shopping, so yeah.
Well, that actually, I used to do that too. I used to go in when it was time to buy the books for college. I would go in and I would write down the EIN numbers and then
Yep.
I would go on Amazon and you can get them for like 1/4 the price used.
Yep, absolutely. Second, he says, is the emerging ability for us as consumers to own our digital identity thanks to decentralization. Yeah. Rather than signing into and out of applications, platform experiences, using multiple versions of our identities that are owned by corporate gatekeepers like Facebook or Google, we'll use a single identity that we own across the entirety of the metaverse. And we've seen this recently with the kind of cross-platformy spatial thing with no, it's not spatial, is it? It's the Ready Player Me avatars have now made their way over to Upland. So within Upland, we have our little Ready Player Me avatar. You know, you can see that on our clips that we put out. It's Cheese's version, my version. Now that's in Upland. If we go to spatial, the same one applies there. So absolutely. And then, of course, with owning that identity, you're talking about ownership of skins. Like if you get, like we just said, NFTs for clothing, or the way that you can pimp out that avatar, that's all then available on the back end for sale. And last one, small business applications for the metaverse. Take it away.
The business applications for the metaverse haven't really changed from the business applications of Web 2. What has changed is the emergence of and access to Web 3 tech that empowers small businesses.
Now, we are a classic example of that. Like we just said, in the 4 months that we've been in operations, we've earned the equivalent of 20 million UPICs in real world dollars. What does that equate to? 20,000 US dollars. I don't think that's anything to poo-poo or turn your nose up at. We created that entirely from our little community, our collaboration, and our clickety-clacketing, and our ideas and brain farts and whatnot. And then, of course, we have to give massive thanks to the Upland community who have been our customers. So, yeah, all of that was created from what? An idea. We didn't need to do a business. Well, we did do a business application, and there is a gatekeeper as far as applying for a meta venture and being successful. But comparing that to setting something up in the real life system, it's whoa.
And like, how long did you have to wait for your business?
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
People are putting in applications, and after 3 months are saying, what's up?
Woe is me. Can that system be improved? Yes.
Yes.
Is it perfect? No. But yeah.
But do something in the meantime, you know? Do like, all right, you're waiting for that. Have a plan B, C, and D, you know? Plan A, I filled out the application, this and that. If you want to have a purple dot, you're going to have to join a UDN, whether you like it or not. It's like, oh, that shouldn't be a step. Why? Because you say so?
Yeah, no,
that is the first step. It's the first step.
Yeah, there's checks and balances in place for a reason. So if you're not even willing to play by the rules, then you shouldn't be surprised that nothing comes your way. That article does go into a lot more details. So yeah, if you want to check that out, the link is in the description. We're not going to dwindle on that one for too long. Now, this next headline, Cheese, I'm going to put it out there again before I bring it up. Can VR influencers save the metaverse?
Really? Can VR influencers save the universe? Why? By just streaming what they are, like show people firsthand?
Not the universe. You said universe. I'm
Metaverse.
Pretty sure they can't save the universe, but the metaverse, yeah. Does it need to be saved? Is it in peril?
It doesn't need to be saved, but it needs to be exposed. It needs exposure.
I believe it's the metaverse as a concept is barely at the walking stage, if you want to use a humanoid analogy. It has been born, it has been breastfed a little bit, or bottle fed, if that's your thing. Whatever, it's gone through the crawling, it's fallen over, trying to get up, it's hit its head on the floor, it's screamed, it's pooped itself, it's pissed in the mum and dad's face, it's done all of that stuff. We're kind of at that toddlery stage. Yeah, I don't think it needs to be saved, but I'm interested to find out why this person believes so and how influencers can have any impact.
Well, I think if it's an influencer that is part of a group that isn't into the metaverse, right?
Yeah.
They're reaching an audience that doesn't have firsthand knowledge of it, doesn't have any experience with it. So I think influencers in that aspect can be a huge impact.
How big is the VR influencer market, though? It can't be. I don't follow any VR influencers, do you?
I don't think it's a VR influencer. I think it's a regular influencer putting on VR.
This specifically says VR influencer, unless that's maybe it's a separate thing, a separate hustle they're doing. But
is the metaverse dead? But others are still convinced virtual worlds are the future. They are.
It can't be dead because it's barely alive. It's only just sprouted. So that's kind of crazy. What is the metaverse? So we already know. We're going to jump over that. Hang on. There's a point there. Technology journalist Jay Peters from website The Verge says some metaverses include elements where you can create your own content and build your own words.
Yes. Bada
bing, bada boom.
Upland much.
This is why some people argue that popular games such as Minecraft, Roblox, and Fortnite are examples of metaverses. Roblox, yes. Fortnite could be, but they famously haven't really dipped their toe too deeply into it.
And Minecraft was, but then they said they don't want to be.
Yes, but we speculate, remember, that they're doing that because they want to block other people from doing it and set it up themselves, which makes perfect business sense.
Yeah. Or not.
Or not, yeah.
Like they could have had them do all the work for them.
Yes, but the vision seen in glitzy tech show reels usually involves users putting on a VR headset to take part. And rather than being an arena for death matches, the vision is for something more like a digital version of the real world. Companies believe metaverses could one day replace going to the office and become the main way that we socialize online.
Yeah.
Yes. VR headsets, I can't imagine that I will use a VR headset within the next 5 years, unless one of my kids wants to get one. I know you have. You've got the latest Fandangle one that's available publicly.
I use it for Beat Saber.
Yeah, it's more of a entertainment kind of thing at the moment.
Yeah, but Joseph Wilson actually has been creating a whole thing.
I did see that on Twitter.
Meta Horizons, yeah. He keeps creating like all these little situations and stuff, and pretty soon he's going to have a whole world there.
Yeah, I mean, and the VR system at the moment, you're pretty much attaching two bricks to your head. That will improve, simplify, get better.
I hope so, yeah, because it is uncomfortable.
Yeah, faster, smaller, stronger, cheaper, for sure.
He sounded like Kanye West.
Oh, wow.
No.
I'll just move on. Yes. A magical experience. Tigress X, who's been creating gaming content for more than 15 years, says one of her favorite metaverse activities is watching films with friends. Okay, so you're right. If she's been around for 15 years, then she's just some kind of gaming influence that's taken on the VR aspect. Yeah. It almost feels like you are physically hanging out. I mean, we do this every week with the UDU podcast. We get together with our circle of friends. We hang out, we shoot the shit, we have a good time. Yep. And that's just via Zoom. So, yeah. Is that a metaverse experience? Well, I guess you could definitely argue that it is.
Yeah. It's our metaverse. Welcome.
Open to the public every week, yes. I actually attended a wedding in VR once for a friend who lives in America. It was interesting for sure, but really fun. Yeah, and we saw last week people getting married via
KFC?
Was it No, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Yes. And Decentraland. Taco Bell and Decentraland. Another influencer, Techman Jew, creates video content, plays VR games, and shares commentary on YouTube and TikTok. He first delved into the metaverse in quotes, to go places that you can't go in the real world, different worlds, universes, galaxies, and dimensions.
That's why I play video games.
Yeah, and the first time you put a headset on, it's a magical experience.
It is.
He says.
It is.
Yeah. It's really special because it's a higher level connection than meeting somebody through message or a game. He says, yeah, people can connect in different or better ways than they could otherwise.
I like
Yada,
how
yada,
big
yada.
her eyes are.
Yes. Now, I dabbled on this way back in the day, like maybe going back to what we talked about before. When I first moved to Japan, no, not when I first moved to Japan. When I convinced my wife to go back to Japan for our second biggest stint, she wanted an iPhone. And I was like, I don't want a bloody iPhone. I think I might have told this story before, so I'll do a quick condensed version. Yada, yada, yada. Wife wins the conversation. We get iPhones, and I'm clicking around one night. I find a mobile game, Super Stickman Golf. It's a simple little quirky game. I get highly addicted to it, love it. And there's an aspect of that in there where there's strategy involved, where you can do sort of things to improve your score. So I start putting these, I think I was on Twitter. I start putting out these little tutorial kind of things, like if you want to get this score, do this, do this, do this.
Nice.
That led to the creation of a forum. So I started an old school forum, and within that forum we built a community, and that kind of expanded out. That moved on to the game, then evolved to Super Stickman Golf 1, 2, 3, and there was the ability to screen record your matches and that sort of thing. So that led to the creation of a YouTube channel that I had, a little gaming YouTube channel. And it also led to, we were doing online tournaments. So a whole bunch of us would get together coordinated through the forum to do these, these matches. If you're a savvy clickety-clickety, you'll be able to find all that sort of stuff. It's pretty funny to look back on. But at that stage, it was all forum-based. So it's all text-based. There was no, I guess Skype was around then, but we never used Skype. But, fast forward to now, if we had the technology we had now back then, the experiences we would have been able to do is vastly more improved. So, yeah, I think it's awesome. It's definitely about taking things to the next level.
No, I agree. I like it.
So that was a bit of a tangent. Yeah. The influencers, what's their role going to play? I think you're right. It's just about getting the word out there.
Exposure.
Like, yeah, a lot of the mainstream media about metaverses, it's all Mark Zuckerberg FUD. Well, there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah.
And, share prices and, Meta's lost $10 billion or something. Yeah, there's so much more to it than that. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, moving on. Now, this one, I just bring this up because there's a lot of stuff happened in Sao Paulo recently with the Upland Metaverse. Now, this says the Breakout NFT conference is building Web3 communities in Sao Paulo.
Ooh. I've been really impressed, though, with the Brazil community.
Yes.
In Upland. They're extremely tenacious, and I don't know. I'm very excited to have them. I can't wait to see a good amount of them in the Upland Genesis week, because a few of them will be coming.
Do you know if Musita's going to make it this year?
He won't be able to make it.
Because you said he's got a new baby and stuff too. That's a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But yes, they're doing massive things, and some of the node projects and all of the various stuff they got going on is immense over there with the Brazilian community. You're right. So yeah, it seems like there's a lot of stuff happening there. So a new NFT conference in Brazil is building on growing interest in the Web3 ecosystem across the region, bringing together builders and leaders from the space to grow the local crypto economy. Now, we did see, I'm going to say it wrong again. Is it Mangueira? Mangueira,
yeah.
The Samba School, they've kicked off. They've done something there. So that's kind of cool. So it says here, lineups of speakers from Conces, Art Blocks, yada, yada, and a wide range of artists from multiple disciplines. So yeah, if you are in the Brazilian community, if this is something that you're interested in, you should definitely check this out. Supporting a growing ecosystem of startups. The hosts of the conference are banking on the city's meteoric rise as a regional technology hub, making it the perfect scene for NFT and Web3 gaming companies to build and expand their communities. Well,
wow.
I would expect that Upland seems to be getting fairly deeply involved in this sort of thing. I expect some kind of news to come out.
And there's a huge amount of big properties there, a big up
Yes.
to square.
The GigaChad factories.
How pretty was that? What was that purple picture?
Let me go back. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Image Shutterstock.
Wow, that's gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember when Masita was on the UDU podcast and he showed us like an aerial satellite view of Sao Paulo. It looked really cool, that kind of business district.
This looks magical. I love I love the purple.
Yes, a lot of people, when they think of Brazil, they famously think of the favelas and that side of things, but that's only part of the story.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
Now I'll bring this next one straight up. I don't even know what it is.
Understanding the relationship between generative AI and Web3.
Now, we have been kind of negative components of the generative NFT space, like those cookie cutter NFTs. What was it? The classic one, the chick that farting into jars and they turned that into an NFT project. But it even goes as far as Bored Ape Yacht Club and all of that. That's all generative AI art. What's the artistic value there? Very little, because it's very hollow. However, both yourself and myself have dived into the generative AI art for practical reasons, not really financial reasons, but definitely to enhance our Web3 kind of experiences and events, things that we're putting together. Can you speak to how you're using generative AI art to help you?
Well, I'm not using it in a sense where you have 10,000, like the Bored Apes, you have 10,000 images, one with a different hat or different shorts.
Yeah.
D-Tech and I use it in a sense to get an image to motivate us to do something in the realms of AI art is not protected by copyright because it is just taking other people's art and kind of merging it together to create something new. I use it in a sense to get an idea of what I want to do, which it's very helpful in that aspect. I haven't used the chat AI yet, but I'm sure it'll make people even lazier as we go on.
Yes, absolutely. Like, we use the art AI generators to brainstorm ideas. Like, through the history of all of the Web3 stuff that we've set up and done, I famously draw really terrible doodles. Well, I can do the same thing now, but in the generative AI bots. I can, we can brainstorm different ideas and kind of get a feeling for how they look. But then you're exactly right. We then use that information. It's a tool. We use that to then create what we actually want to do.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see what they say here about it. The quantity, scarcity, and economics, blah, 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 blah. In this article, we will discuss how generative AI and Web3 technologies are changing the notion of scarcity, how they are impacting niche users of this product data streams, and possible model monetization. Scarcity in AI.
Do you want to see my dragon versus...
Yes, I haven't even seen this yet. All I saw was the sneaky peek with the dragon, the Italian dragon hand. I saw that little
I have been up since 3 a.m. Ben. 3 a.m.
I know all about that.
So I don't know how this is going to... This is a very small version of it, but it gives people an idea of... Where's my share? I feel like a grandma.
You have the AI version.
So that's the AI version.
Yep, which is a good... Now, what were you looking for here when you were searching? Was it the pose? Was it the wings?
I wanted the wings. I wanted flying, but you see how skinny this guy is? I added a tummy. I made the head. I changed the colors to match our logo our brand colors. And yeah, DTech says I put the Italian I forget like the
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia, Mamma mia.
Yes.
So yeah, like basically, and then I changed a bit of the shapes and stuff and just made it kind of my own thing.
Pixel by pixel by pixel.
Pixel by pixel. Well, if you look really close, it's a lot of dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. So that's basically how I do my I can't wait to show DTech. I haven't showed him yet.
Nice. All right. So what is the point of this article? Let's find out. Web3. Yeah, it's just all background stuff. Niche users of generative AI and Web3. All right, here we go. Generative AI and Web3 technologies are particularly popular among niche users who are passionate about digital art and collectibles. These users are creating and exchanging digital assets that are unique and scarce, making them highly valuable. Generative AI and Web3 technologies are enabling the creation of these digital assets that are one of a kind, allowing their creators to showcase their creativity and sell their work. Are they one of a kind though? Like if I put a certain number of keywords into the art AI bot and pressed enter, is that going to show me something completely unique than if you put those exact same words in?
No. Not because like I know I DTech and I were searching for sandwiches, like evil sandwiches with eyeballs, and they kept coming up the same in both mine and his searches.
So that's interesting. Yeah. Generative AI could be used to create personalized content that is designed to soothe or inspire users. Well, that's how we're using it. We're using it to create personalized content.
Yeah.
Mental health platforms. What is this? I don't know. I think this might be a bit of a weird article. Data streams are continuous streams of data that can be used to. Yeah, we know all that. Blah, blah, blah. Model monetization. Now, this is where it, like you mentioned this too, this is where it gets greasy. If you're using an art bot or a chat bot to create content that you're monetizing directly with no customization at all, you're setting yourself up for potential a lot of drama. We saw this with the Trump NFTs, where there was still like copyright logos on some of them.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep. And it sucks because like these people are competing with other artists, and it's like sometimes they'll just come right out and say, oh yeah, I used AI art and didn't make any modifications. Or sometimes they'll say, oh yeah, it's mine, until somebody actually says, no, it's not. And then a lot of contests now in the metaverse are saying cannot use direct AI art, must be modified.
Yes,
which is awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, now this article says one of the challenges under the subheading challenges, one solution could be to use blockchain technology to create a transparent and immutable record of ownership and usage rights. But you could also be setting yourself up for immutable shenanigans and trouble on the back end. Like if you don't, like that's the classic case with the Trump NFTs. Like that's there for everybody to see. That cannot be altered.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding. Oh, it's
crazy. It's it's crazy.
Yeah. This is weird. The scarcity angle that they're talking about. Okay, sure, you can use an AI bot to create a one-of-one NFT. You can do that all day long, but yeah, that's not really.
It's not protected either, because
not at all.
They're saying that you cannot search an image in AI and then use it and then expect no one else to search that same image and they use it. It's not protected. Exactly.
Exactly. Oh, mama, yeah, they're setting up for a world of drama there. So at the very least, you should be altering it somehow, whether it's through filters or what you did with your Ethereum NFTs, where you would create the image in pixels and then you would use distortion. That was part of your artistic process, was, you know, manipulating things. You've got
Yeah.
to at least do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Otherwise-
got to change it. It's got to be changed.
Yeah, that's otherwise you're going to get yourself in a world of pain.
Yeah.
Now, this next one goes back to what we're talking about with entertainment as far as the future of the metaverse. Now, have you ever heard of main skin? I don't know how to I don't know how to pronounce it.
Are you saying main or man? Main?
What, Manny skin? I don't know. That's got one of those weird European characters on it. I don't no idea how to pronounce it, but
main skin.
main skin set to deliver mind-blowing metaverse performance. Now, by looking at the pictures, main skin, or however the hell you say it,
Are
is
they like
some
freaky
kind of
deaky Dutch? Freaky
they
deaky
look
Dutch.
very freaky deaky, but there's some kind of band or group, I would guess, looking at them, some kind of, you know, live music kind of situation.
Måneskin.
So it says here, to kick off the year back in January, Måneskin released their latest album, Rush, and since then the band has been touring the world. Now fans can join them right in the comfort of their own homes, sitting on the couch in their underpants, eating their Cheetos. That's not written there. That's my take on it.
That's
As
what
the
I
band
do.
takes over iHeartland in Fortnite. That's interesting, and on Roblox on March 17th.
That's cool.
So now this is really cool. We've talked about this through the history of this show, like you know, Iron Maiden tours the world relentlessly. I would love to be able to watch every single Iron Maiden show. Am I going to fly to every single country so I can watch every single Iron Maiden show? No, but would I be willing to spend, you know, some equivalent of that amount of money to do it via Web3 in the metaverse? Yes, absolutely, I would. So no, this is cool. Blah blah blah. Mainskin's third album, 17 songs, yada yada yada. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, the band's Thomas Raggy explained of working with Morello. That's the bloody music side. Not interested in that. As I said, I don't have a clue who this band is. I'm highly never likely to listen to them, but it's the underlying tech that I'm interested in. Here we go, Cheese. Take that away.
Fans can experience iHeartRadio live with Måneskin. I'm so sorry if I'm saying this wrong. In iHeartland and Fortnite and on Roblox for 2 days only, starting Friday, March 17th. So that's next week at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. PT. While you're watching this great band that I can't pronounce their name, take over the stage on Roblox. Head backstage for some never before seen great band content, which will air on the backstage screen. You can bounce over there via trampoline. Fans can also check out this great band's NBC non-player character on iHeartland's pink carpet presented by NYX Professional Makeup and Snap a Selfie.
Now that, everything that's in there, that is cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. So not only can you go and watch the performance via this kind of Web3 metaverse experience, your little avatar, I would imagine, can jump on a trampoline and it's going to take you to a backstage area where you're going to see probably content that you can only see if you're part of this, you know, this event. So it adds, we talked about scarcity. Well, there's also scarcity of opportunity to see things. And we see this a lot with, a lot of comedians are doing this now where they're not putting their specials out on mainstream platforms. They're doing it on YouTube for a limited time only, or via their own website. Like if you want to watch this performance, you pay for the access, and here it is. It's available for 2 weeks or whatever it may be. And then you know, there's also like Patreon where you get a lot of backstage content if you're a paid sponsor via Patreon. So yeah.
There was this one site called Friendster back in the days. This must have been like, oh, gosh, 7-8 years ago. They even had like celebrities promote it, right? J-Lo promoted it in one of her videos. But it failed. Like, I'm wondering if it was ahead of its time or
Yeah.
it should have waited a bit longer. But basically, it's very similar to this, because they had, not only can you, it's like a dating app, but not a dating app. It's an app to find friends. You
Yep.
know, like you're new to a neighborhood, let's see who wants to hang out at this place with me. But it's also had something where you could see shows live. You could see these shows live and hang out backstage with the artists. So I'm wondering if they just like wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. It was just,
I think so. I think a lot of this stuff is ahead of its time. And what you talked about there, I used to do the old school version of that way back. Like back in the day when I used to buy metal magazines, there was always like a pen pals thing. You know, I got in contact with a few people there because none of my in real life friends were interested in Slayer, Cannibal Corpse, you know, Cradle of Filth, any of those bands that I was madly passionate about. I couldn't have conversations with my in real life friends. They didn't give a crap about it. But it was through like those classifieds in the metal magazines that I used to write letters to people. It was never like phone calls or anything, but it was just, hey, did you hear about this latest thing? Or, you know, keeping up to date with people that share similar interests. So yeah, that's cool.
I had a PayPal. I had a pen pal. He was from Russia.
Yeah.
It was so like back then, I think I was like 13, 14. And yeah, we talked about like metal music. Same thing. That's
Same
crazy.
deal, yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yes. So like if you're a fan of this band, as Chi said, we apologize that we butchered the name, and I'm sure it's going to be a great event. What I'm really fascinated about and what I'm really excited about is the underlying tech. Would I do something like this for, you know, any of my top favorite bands? You know, Iron Maiden as a classic example. Absolutely. I'd be all over this in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and we do know that Iron Maiden as an example, they are involved in the space. They have done the Funko Pops NFT series. So fingers crossed that this is where they go, because taking that as an example again, those guys aren't getting any younger. They're all in their 60s. I think they might even be pushing 70s, some of those guys. So maybe they can sit on their couch in their underpants eating Cheetos and playing their guitars as their avatars spin about and headbang on stage.
Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody.
The circle of Cheetos life. Yes.
You're making me want Cheetos, man.
Yes. So this is cool. Like as part of the experience too, they're going to do a fan trivia challenge, yada, yada, yada. So no, I think that's really cool. As I said, no idea about the band. It looks absolutely horrendous. Like I would never want to listen to it.
That's a great picture of them.
I would probably prefer to go outside and lick the road, but
yes. Stop.
But the tech, yes, I'm all over it. Good on you, man-skinned for, you know, being willing to take a chance at thing that is still very much in its early stages. All right, one more article to touch on, Cheese, and it is a wamboozle whop dinger. Hold on to your pants. This is pretty huge.
I can't wait. Let's see. Lego set to launch Metaverse initiative in conjunction with Epic Games. What?
Now, if you don't know, Epic Games is the company behind Fortnite. So we do know Fortnite is branching out into Metaverse stuff, and Epic Games is on board. So this is freaking massive.
Yes, because like I used to play so many Lego video games. They have so many of them. They have the Superman, the Batman, the Hulk. They have the whole. Yep. Oh man! All right, so I want to read this. Come on, with the
just the suspense.
The suspense.
Yes. There you go. Take it away.
Danish toy giant Lego is building on its Metaverse push by partnering with the gaming facilitator Epic Games to target digital markets. The Lego Group is collaborating with gaming engine Epic Games to launch a Metaverse-driven initiative targeting digital markets. According to reports, the popular Danish toy company seeks to diversify its entertainment offerings portfolio with this joint initiative. The Lego Epic Metaverse project entails a sprawling virtual world driven by the American video game and software developers' resources. When?
Yes.
When?
So, the Denmark-based toy line could stake online brand recognition by offering Lego products to consume customers in such markets. So we talked about this before. Okay, so if you buy a Lego set for yourself or for your kid, like I buy a Lego set for my son Bodhi, right? He loves Lego. I can very easily see him being able to scan a Q code onto his phone, which gives him some kind of perk in whether it be, some kind of epic game thing, and vice versa. If he achieves some level of whatever upgrades in the game, that then allows him to qualify for some real in-life can only be got Lego set. You can only get this Lego set if you do X, Y, and Z in this game or in this Web3 experience. So,
like imagine he buys like a Lego thing to create a plane, right? And then he scans it, and now he can actually have this plane in the metaverse. Oh,
now fast forward a few years, and you're putting on your AR VR glasses. And instead of looking through the instruction manual to how to put this thing together, you're following step-by-step instructions in the pop-up field of your vision.
That's amazing. That's a great idea.
Now, this isn't in that article. That's just pure speculation.
Yeah, that's us just like old farting.
Yeah, but just thinking ahead. So, yes, there's a quote there, Cheese. Take that away. Oh, I better not.
Oh, no. We are doing a lot of things on the digital side. That is where we are upping the investment. We know very well how to immerse consumers into the Lego universe in stores. We're working very hard to create that feeling of getting into the Lego brand universe also digitally. Have you ever been into a Lego store, only Lego store?
Yeah, we've got one at our local supermarket here or a local shopping mall, and actually we're heading to Japan in a couple of weeks, and one of the things we're booked in is to go to the Legoland experience, so that's going to be fun.
They're quite remarkable.
Yeah, I'll try to record a couple of videos or record
that'd be cool.
At least a few selfies while we're there. So
yeah,
now I wonder why. I guess it's smart. I guess it's smart that they're not setting this up as their very own standalone metaverse. It kind of feels like they're reaching out this kind of partnership to test the waters or something. Lego is definitely big enough to do something on their own.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah, because they have a lot of games out there. Actually, they have a plethora of just regular gaming games.
A plethora. Oh, why is it highlight like that? I want to highlight this, but you won't be able to read it.
The Danish toy giant also partnered, with Sony through a $2 billion investment in Epic Games.
That just answers my point. Like, why aren't they doing their own? Well, they kind of are, because they're invested in Epic Games. $2 billion ain't no, that ain't no small chunk of cheese.
Yeah, cheese, I get you. The agenda was to construct a metaverse platform to endear the toy brand more with kids in a safe and secure format. That's important. At the time, Lego described the digital space as specifically designed for younger users and family friendly. That's great. I like that.
Okay. That's super smart now that I think of it. Rather than build their own thing from scratch, they've invested in Epic Games, which already has a massive customer base. So it's just about, getting involved in a thing that's already there. Yeah, that's very, very, very smart. Blah, 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 blah. Profitable run. So, yeah, we're not going to touch on that. Now, how do you think this is now, speaking back to the Minecraft experience where there was several big NFT projects that were associated with Minecraft type experiences, and then Minecraft sent cease and desist letters, put the kibosh on all of that. Now, you and I have at least 2 groups of people that we know that are doing kind of Lego themed NFT experiences.
Yeah.
What does this bode for the future of those projects?
See, first of all, I wonder how they even were accepted. I remember going through a very difficult whitelisting process, right? And even if something looked slightly similar to the real thing, it was, oh yeah, you can't do that, boo-hoo, like too bad, you can't get whitelisted, yada yada. That's why I had to make a different name.
Yeah.
And it was not anything that should have prevented me on my other name. So like you have people doing very similar images to that of Lego, unless they did it slightly different. But I don't know if Lego comes out with their own NFT thing, which they will, those other people will be considered fake.
Would it be intellectual property rights violations or something like that? Yeah, so yeah, it's a tricky one.
It's a tricky
we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's just setting up for something monumental, something massive, I would think. All right, we've managed to run pretty long. Now, did we want to give a bit of a hint at what may be to come? Like, I'm going to Japan for a month, and I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but I'm potentially going to miss at least 3 worst show evers. We don't want the worst show ever to discontinue. We would love for it to continue during that period. Now, without mentioning any names, do you want to maybe give a little sneaky peeky at what we might do?
Well, the worst show ever, in my opinion, will be the easy one. Not that you're replaceable. You're not. It'll just be like, since it's a one-on-one and it's not as in-depth as the UDU podcast, it's easier for me to work with. UDU podcast is going to be a different story. It'll just be me, and I will need help. I have a few people in mind that I want to reach out to. I won't put their names here, so no pressure, but I will be tapping some people on the shoulders for that.
Yeah, and I'd rather set something up, like we had this conversation before we kicked off today. I'd rather set something up on the off chance that I can't do anything, which is probably fairly highly likely, given that we're going to be touring here, there, and everywhere, like Legoland and all over the place. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and I actually had this conversation with my in real life colleagues. We've had meetings this week. Like, I kind of co-teach. I've got like an apprentice teacher, and she was starting to get a bit nervous at the prospect of me going away for a month and then having to take over all of the class leadership roles. Like, if you don't know, I'm a kindergarten teacher, and the other 2 assistants in the room as well. And I said, look, take this as an opportunity. Like, I'm very similar in this kind of Web3 space as I am in real life. I tend to be kind of obnoxious. I don't know. I tend to take over things. So I said to them too, like, use this as an opportunity to try new things. Do whatever you want. It's fine. It's turn it into a positive. I'm
not going to argue with any of those facts.
I'm very aware of my many character flaws. Yes. Absolutely. So what are we saying? We are saying that actually, is it next week? Am I here for next week's show? Yes,
the 17th,
next week.
Yes.
Yeah, next week will potentially be the last one that I'm on for a while. So keep your eyes and ears out for that. And yes, there may be some exciting things on the way. So you might have to rename it. It might not be the worst show ever. It might be like the pretty good shows.
No,
we're taking a break.
We'll never be good.
Okay, but it's good to be bad.
Yeah, I love being bad. Bad to the cheese.
I think that's a perfect note to wrap us up on.
Should I send us out, Ben?
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
go for it.
Stay good, stay healthy, and stay fresh. You cheese bags.
Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Eagle and fire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off the drive. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. Eagle and fire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky. Eagle and fire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get it left and right. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. Evil empire, samurai. Ride on a dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky. Time for wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. 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 Time for wine and cheese.
Are you looking for some of that quality outdoor decor? But you got no freaking idea where to go? Oh, come on over to Samurai Aquatics and Decor for all your outdoor decor needs. Got yourself an empty plot of boring virtual real estate in the metaverse, do ya? Yeah, just delete that. I'm still not ready, sorry. Got yourself an empty plot of boring virtual real estate in the metaverse, do ya? Or maybe some kind of crappy ramshackle building that, I don't know, needs a bit of extra spunk to it or something. And stop mucking about and get yourself over to Samurai Aquatics Discord to see all our available stock. We've got loads of different decor to spend your pretend money on. We got saunas to fire you up and ice baths to chew you the fudge out. Literally stock coming out of our ears. Grills, swings, seating and more. So much more. And if we don't got it, give us a buzz and we could probably make it. Get yourself on over to Samurai Aquatics at 30 Aqua Vista Way in Midtown Terrace, San Francisco, lickety split, and gorge yourself on outdoor decor.